I love you is the most repeated phrase in every relationship that eventually falls apart. Think about that for a second. The couples who drifted, the marriages that quietly dissolved, the relationships that ended with someone saying, I just don't feel it anymore. Every single one of them said those three words over and over, right up until the end.s. Oh, what if the problem isn't how often you say it, but what you've stopped doing with it? This channel exists for one reason: to go deeper than the surface-level relationship advice that sounds good but changes nothing. No therapy scripts. No communication frameworks borrowed from a corporate training manual. Just the real, uncomfortable, genuinely useful truth about what keeps two people choosing each other and what quietly makes them stop. Here is exactly what you are walking away with today. First, you are going to understand what I love you has actually become in most long-term relationships and why it stopped working long before either person noticed. Second, you are going to see the three things that make those words land like they used to versus the three things that have slowly made them land like nothing at all. And third, you're going to have something specific to do tonight. Not eventually. Tonight. Stay with this. Because the shift that's coming is not what you're expecting. There is a particular kind of hurt that nobody warns you about in relationships. That it is not the hurt of being unloved. It is the hurt of being told you are loved, repeatedly, consistently, with complete sincerity, and still feeling alone. You know this feeling. Maybe you are in it right now. Your partner says, I love you every morning, every night, sometimes in the middle of the day, a text, unprompted, and you know they mean it. You do not doubt it for a second, but something is not landing. Something is going through the words and disappearing before it reaches you. And the worst part? You feel guilty for noticing, because they are saying all the right things. They are doing everything they were told a loving partner does. So what is wrong with you that it still feels like not enough? Here is what most couples get wrong. And this is almost universal. They treat I love you as a destination, as proof of arrival, as the answer to a question that actually needs to keep being asked. They say it and consider love communicated. Box ticked. Feeling expressed. But here is the thing about feelings. They do not transfer through words. They transfer through moments. Specific, ordinary, unremarkable moments that words can only point toward, never replace. The couples who make it feel alive, who still make each other feel genuinely, actively loved after a decade. Together, they figured something out about those three words that most people never do. And here is the question I want you to hold on to until the end of this video, because the answer is going to reframe everything. What did I love you actually mean the very first time you said it? And is it still carrying that same weight today? That answer is coming. But first, let's look at exactly how the word stopped working. Point 1. I love you became a reflex, and reflexes are invisible. There is a moment in every relationship when I love you stops being a choice and becomes a habit. It happens quietly. You say it when leaving the house. You say it ends a phone call. You say it before sleep, with your eyes already closed, as automatic as a lock check or a light switch. And the person receiving it, they say it back. Also automatically. Also without thinking. And nobody did anything wrong. But something changed. The words went from being a decision, I am stopping right now, in this moment, to tell you what I feel, to being background noise. Beautiful background noise. But background noise nonetheless. Here is what that actually means for your relationship. When something becomes invisible through repetition, the brain stops processing it as meaningful. Your partner does not stop loving you, but they're nervous. System stops registering the words as a signal. It has categorized them as ambient. Like traffic outside the window that you stopped hearing 3 months after moving in. The fix is not to say it less. The fix is to say it differently. Which brings us to point 2, and this is where it gets specific. Point 2. The words are empty without the evidence that lives around them. Think about the first time you ever said it. You probably did not just say it. You said it because something happened right before. A moment. A look. A conversation that cracked something open. A burst of feeling so specific it needed words to match it. I love you was not the whole sentence that first time. It was the conclusion of something. The period at the end of a long, unspoken paragraph that your whole body had been writing. That's what the words are supposed to be. A conclusion. An arrival point. Not the journey itself. Most couples have kept the conclusion and lost the paragraph. They kept the 3 words and stopped building the moments that gave them meaning. And so the words arrive without context, without build-up, without anything for the other person to connect them to. Say, I love you, after a 2-second look that goes nowhere. It lands like furniture. Say, I love you, right after your partner makes you laugh so hard you forget what you were worried about. And the words hit completely differently. Because now they are pointing at something real. Something that just happened. Something both of you are still inside. The evidence around the words is what makes the words carry weight. And most couples stopped building the evidence years ago without realizing that's what they were doing. Point 3 is the one most people skip entirely. And it is the most important one. Point 3. Love is not a statement. It is a question being answered every day. Here is the uncomfortable truth that this whole video has been building toward. I love you is not something you say. It is something you demonstrate, actively, daily, in the smallest possible moments. And the words are just the label you put on it afterward. The couples who still feel genuinely loved after 10, 20, 30 years together, they are not better at saying it. They are better at doing the things the words are supposed to describe. They do it by noticing, by catching the small moments before they pass, by asking the question they do not already know the answer to, by laughing together at something that could have been a source of stress, by saying the name, not hey, not babe, the actual name, and meaning it. They do it by treating love as something that needs to be actively renewed, not passively maintained. Like a fire that gives light and warmth but requires tending. The moment you assume it will keep burning without attention is the moment it starts to go quiet. Not dramatically, gradually. The way mornings get shorter, and you cannot point to when exactly the sunrise got earlier. You just notice one day that the light looks different. The words, I love you, do not keep the fire going. The actions keep the fire going. The words just tell your partner that you can still feel the warmth, and that you are grateful it is still there. And the third point has a shadow side that nobody wants to talk about. When you say, I love you, without doing the work that makes it true in the felt sense, not the intellectual sense, the felt sense, you are not being dishonest. But you are writing checks the relationship cannot cash. And at some point, the person you love stops expecting the money to arrive. They stop walking to the mailbox. They stop waiting. That is what it looks like when love goes quiet. Not one explosion, just someone who stopped expecting to feel it, and eventually stopped reaching for it altogether. Remember the question planted earlier. What did I love you mean the very first time you said it? Here is the answer. The first time, it meant, I see you, the real you, and I am not going anywhere. It meant presence. It meant attention. It meant that you had been paying close enough attention to someone that your whole chest responded before your brain caught up. It was not a habit. It was not a reflex. It was evidence, living, breathing, undeniable evidence, that another person had genuinely moved you. That is what it needs to keep meaning. Every time, not with grand declarations, not with grand gestures or expensive evenings or anniversary speeches. With presence, with one real, unguarded, genuinely curious moment before the words come out. Look at them first. Actually look. Find the thing that moved you, even if it takes a second. Even if it is just the way the light is hitting their face or the way they are concentrating on something small, then say it. That is the whole shift. And it costs nothing except a few seconds of attention you were probably going to spend somewhere far less worth it. The next video goes deeper into exactly what happens in long-term relationships when presence disappears entirely, and what it costs both people before either of them can name it. Tonight, before you say it, pause for 2 seconds. Find something real to attach it to. Then say it like you mean the whole paragraph, not just the last 3 words. Subscribe, because every week this channel goes somewhere most relationship content is too comfortable to go. This content is for educational purposes only. For personal relationship challenges, a licensed counselor will always be your most valuable resource.